Over the last 2 years, we have mobilized $2 billion domestic resources, $2 billion to fund our housing program. We now have 150,000 houses under construction, 250,000 people working, and a possibility of scaling this up to 700,000 houses, undertaken using domestic raised resources. Secondly, we have transitioned health from being a preserve of those who can afford to being a right for every Kenyan. We have, using again domestic raised resources, raised $1 billion to transition 24 million Kenyans now to health insurance. Again, it tells you the possibilities of domestic raised resources and what it can achieve in delivering on social services. Let me give you another 2 examples on innovative financing. On roads, we have securitized some of our assets, local assets, working with international financial institutions, Trade Development Bank, Afri-Exim Bank, and other financial institutions to raise $1.5 billion for our road infrastructure development. Equally, Kenya will have 100% of its grid as renewable by 2030 because we have innovative financing using power purchase agreement to bring the public and the private into one ecosystem, and we are funding our green energy generation using private funds and working with public interventions. What I'm trying to say here is that this document that we have negotiated, and today we have it as the severe commitment, is a document that is implementable. And that is why we are willing to share our experiences, and we are also willing to learn from others. Thank you very much.
Many thanks, President Ruto.
Negotiating an outcome document like the Seville commitment requires significant effort, yet without a framework for implementation, that effort risks being in vain. I am optimistic that the SPA will help governments fast-track the FDA outcome. Kenya has co-sponsored several SPA initiatives in collaboration with other governments. And we are co-founders of the 4P, the Pact for Prosperity, People and the Planet, launched at the Paris Summit in June 2023, and reaffirmed by the Africa leaders at the Africa Climate Summit in Nairobi that year. Alongside Barbados and France, we have also championed innovative financing through Global Solidarity Levy's Task Force for Climate and Development. Kenya, together with Colombia, France, and Germany, co-chairs the Independent Expert Review on Debt, Climate, and Nature. The outcomes of the 4P will feed into the global forums, including G20, IMF World Bank meetings, the United Nations General Assembly, and the COP30 processes. To sustain this momentum, the SPA needs to build on the 4P and related initiatives to ensure coherence and continuity. Ladies and gentlemen, the emphasis on integrated national financing frameworks is both timely and critical. Effective coordination among partners grounded in national plans and adaptable to evolving circumstances lays a solid foundation for country-led growth and development.
We're just 5 years away from the 2030 milestone, Agenda 2030, and efforts have not been sufficient. The world faces new challenges, growing inequalities, budgets that are being reduced for cooperation, multilateralism, which is in danger. Despite this scenario, which is so somber, earlier the Secretary General stated it in his press conference, the resources exist. With less than 1% of global wealth, which exceeds $470 trillion, it would be possible to close the annual deficit of 4.3 trillion needed to achieve the SDGs. Only 1% of that wealth, global wealth. Therefore, we've got the capacity, but we lack the will and the courage in order to carry this project out. The good news is that we still have time to change course, but we have to act now, immediately. We should spare no effort or resources. So in this difficult context, the Seville commitment is a success in itself. Reaching consensus on the future of financing for development in these adverse times for multilateralism. And we should be happy about that. We are laying the foundations for a renewed financing framework designed to drive impact-focused investment. We are moving to a new comprehensive paradigm of sustainable development in which all sources of financing, public, private, national, international, north or south, count and have to contribute more. Nevertheless, we now need to build on those foundations, and that is where the Seville Platform for Action comes into play. It was created in order to promote a strategic mobilization of alliances with a practical roadmap of concrete solutions and impact initiatives that developed the Seville commitment precisely that we've achieved. Through this platform, countries, international organizations, the private sector, which is very important, and the civil society at large have been invited to build coalitions and launch innovative, transformative, and measurable impact initiatives. And I am very happy to say that the Seville Platform for Action has already been a great success. We have received a very high number of proposals of great quality, high ambitions as well, around 130 initiatives gathered on this platform, and they demonstrate the vitality, but also the creativity and the commitment of the international community in order to address the challenges holding back sustainable development and provide solutions. Dear President, dear Prime Minister, I congratulate you and your government on your vision and leadership as hosts of the 4th International Conference for Financing for Development.
Global development crisis that threatens people and planet alike. Our roadmap to a better future, the Sustainable Development Goals, is in danger. 2/3 of the targets are not progressing fast enough or at all. Solutions depend on financing. Developing countries need over $4 trillion a year to deliver on the 2030 agenda. But they are being bettered by limited fiscal space, slowing growth, crushing debt burdens, and growing systemic risks. The Seville Commitment document represents a bold plan to get the engine of development reviving again. Through new domestic and global commitments that can channel public and private finance to the areas of greatest need. By overhauling the world's approach to debt to make borrowing work in service of sustainable development. And by reforming the global financial architecture to reflect today's realities and the urgent needs of developing countries. But we need all hands on deck. And that is why the Seville Platform for Action is so critical and so significant. In the midst of a world of division, conflict, and economic uncertainty, this platform contains more than 130 specific initiatives that demonstrate that we can achieve by working together. Governments, private sector, partners, international institutions, and civil society, groups all together
teaming up to launch high-impact initiatives to bring the Seville commitment to life. This includes a global hub for debt swaps at the World Bank, as part of a broader facility aiming at relieving liquidity constraints and lowering the cost of borrowing. A debt pause alliance to help countries in times of crisis. A global coalition to scale up prearranged finance that can be readily deployed when disasters strike. A blended finance platform to bring public and private finance together in a new and expanded way. A new tool for multilateral development banks to manage currency risks, and the Commission to explore the future of development cooperation. In December, I appointed a group of experts on debt who today are announcing 11 immediately actionable proposals to help resolve the debt crisis. And this includes the commitment to establish a borrowers' forum for countries to learn from one another and coordinate their approaches in debt management and restructuring. I look forward to working closely with Member States, including the G20, to bring this forum to life, to empower borrower countries and create a fairer system. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the Seville Platform for Action offers an ambitious, action-oriented response to the global financial challenge. It provides a springboard toward a more just, inclusive, and sustainable world for all countries. And above all, it proves that progress and change are possible if we work together. I hope the platform inspires countries to work as one to tackle other challenges facing our world today. E uma vez mais, agradeço ao...
And once again, I thank the Prime Minister of Spain and all of you for your leadership. Thank you very much.